Good afternoon, morning, or evening, whenever you're watching this. Flint Hills Baptist Association. I'm Matt Maestas, if we haven't met before. I'm the church planner strategist, and this is a new series we're doing called 5 Questions. And it's just 5 questions with our church planners to give you an opportunity to know them. And so today we're with Scott and Melissa Murphy with Celebration Church here in beautiful Atchison, Kansas. And they've been here on the field since about halfway through 2011 and have seen some really good things happen, and so we thought we would take a few minutes and get to know them a little bit. So Scott and Melissa, why are you planting, or why did you plant Celebration Church?
Church planting came across our bow probably 15 years ago, and it's something that initially I said, no way, there's no way that we want to do it. But God continued to move us to a place where we were going to plant the church. In 2010, we were in Nebraska for the annual meeting. And Bob Mills mentioned that there were a number of counties that did not have a Southern Baptist church in them. And so we started to explore, given the fact that God had laid church planting on our hearts, started to explore the counties, what shape they were in, where they were at. We got to the A's, found Atchison. Felt like this was really where God was leading us to, and so that's why we planted the church. It's an old town, a lot of old churches. The gospel is not reaching a lot of corners of Atchison, and so it's a great place to plant a church who's interested in evangelism and reaching the lost.
So what are some challenges that you're currently facing?
Reaching the lost. One of the big challenges is the fact that we are planting in a cold start setting, which means there's not a lot of people on the ground ready to go right now. And so that's a discipleship process, that's a growth process, it takes a long time. And patience is probably the thing that it takes the most of. And just allowing God to work when He's going to, how He's going to, in the manner He wants to, instead of trying to force things into a mold.
One of the other challenges is that we don't have a church close by that is sponsoring us, so we don't have any teams that are coming to help with anything. So anything that gets done in the church right now inevitably ends up being ours to do. Baby Christians, you don't want to put people into leadership positions too quickly, and so while we're trying to reach the lost and disciple baby Christians, we find ourselves with a lot of vacancies, a lot of places that we need help, we need people to come alongside. But we don't have a close sponsoring church at this point that does that.
Sure. In the midst of all the challenges, what are you most excited about?
Oh man, there's so much to be excited about because we're seeing God really begin to move and see inroads, especially with our youth department in the youth program we've got going on. We started off with 3 kids a year ago and 2 years ago now. And there are 30, 40, 50 kids that show up on a Wednesday night at the YMCA. And the youth group is just as big as the church plant is at this point. So we're seeing the students are hungry for the gospel, they're hungry for truth, they're hungry for somebody who's willing to pour into their lives. And so that's one of the things I'm most excited about at this point.
So how can other people be involved?
Help us.
We always have a need for teams to come out and help, whether it's in the nursery or teaching kids on Sunday night, or not so much. We have more of a need right now for weekly or rotating teams on Sundays to come and help, as opposed to mission teams that come for a week in the summer.
Okay.
We have lots of mission teams that want to come out, but that ongoing every single week kind of thing, people to put time to. We meet on Sunday evening, so people don't have to give up their Sunday morning worship if they'd like to volunteer time to come out on Sunday evening to help us.
Oh, that's good.
Another thing that other people can get involved with another way is they can adopt a portion of the ministry. For instance, our office, we always have need for office supplies, for stamps, for stationery, for business cards, for banners, for all kinds of things.
Printer paper,
printer ink. And so if somebody were to adopt that and just say, we want to take on that challenge, that portion, and send materials or send money or something like that, but adopt a specific portion of the ministry, that'd be fantastic. The same goes for the children that Melissa mentioned, the youth program, just all kinds of areas that they can be adopted in. They can adopt.
Sure. And how can we pray for you?
Pray for two things. Number one, a ripe harvest field. This area seems to be resistant to the gospel. There are pockets that are not, but overall there seems to be a resistance to the gospel. There's a lot of church history, a lot of hurt people because of a church incident that happened to grandma, and they're still carrying that. And so it's an interesting place to serve. So pray that the gospel reaches hearts that are ready for it. And then secondly, for workers, for people to join us, people that understand the vision, the mission, and join in with us and are ready to jump in.
Okay. And if someone wants to get a hold of you, what's the best way?
I have no idea.
Send a check, right? And you will get a hold of them if they send a check, right?
The best way is either via the phone, 913-426-6603, or email or our Facebook, and Matt can give you all those details.
If you'd like more information about how to get in touch with Celebration Church, just be sure to check out the link on our website here, and we'd be glad to get you in touch with Scott and Melissa. Thanks very much for your time. We'll be praying for you and your work, and we'll check in with you again really, really soon.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I love you.